aortic stenosis in this graph that was published by Ross and Rockwell back in 1968. And even though this particular graph was created with a very small number of patients, it turns out that it is quite true and still holds today. And what we know is that individuals with aortic stenosis, even when it's severe, may have a latent period when they feel uncomfortable. And over that time, there's increasing obstruction of myocardial overload that the body can compensate for until a certain time. And then when the onset of symptoms happen, and most commonly those include heart failure, syncope, and angina, the survival drops off precipitously. And so we have to watch out very carefully for this onset of symptoms because that's usually the trigger that some type of intervention on the valve is necessary. And we know that if we do intervene, in this case it's operate to fulfill it, that the body can compensate for until a certain point. And then when the onset of symptoms happen, and most commonly those include heart failure, syncope, and angina, the survival drops off precipitously. And so we have to watch out very carefully for this onset of symptoms because that's usually the trigger that some type of intervention on the valve is necessary. And we know that if we do intervene, in this case it's operated to have it improve aberrant treatment as well, we know that the survival can then return back to your normal pre-symptomatic status. And we do have several predictors by echocardiography, mainly that being having peak ejection velocity greater than 4 meters per second. And according to Dr. Hughes, from patients, only 21% of patients with a jet velocity over 4 meters per second were alive and free of aortic valve replacement after 2 years. So the echo as well as the clinical assessment are very important when we're following patients with aortic stenosis. So there's several steps that we have to keep in mind when we're treating patients with aortic stenosis. Of course, there is the echocardiogram, which is we're going to be focused on today, but we have to combine the echo with our clinical assessment and then put it all together to prepare for treatment. And now we have more options with the advent of TAVR, whereas before surgery was required. So there are some common etiologies for us to be aware of. First, there is degenerative aortic stenosis, and that's quite common early in the development. Here's an example of a patient with senile or degenerative aortic stenosis. And then there's the bicuspid etiology, which is actually quite common with pulmonary and occlusion. And then in the third world, really one of the most common is pneumatic. And we see here that the pneumatic valve is mostly affected at the tips of the leaflets, which you can also see in this photograph of logic study intervals. So it's important for us to identify the etiology of the stenosis because it may impact our treatment. So being able to recognize those different etiologies is important to be able to better understand our treatment. And we can't forget the aorta. Many times patients with aortic stenosis also have associated enlargement of the aorta, so we have to carefully evaluate that structure as well. So the echo exam plus and the stroke. Now, measurement of the LVOT diameter can be quite tricky. The main thing is that it is done from the first and the long axis view in the zoom mode. We want to measure of the impulse index and the stroke mode. Now, measurement of the LVOT diameter can be quite tricky. The main thing is that it is done from the first and the long axis view in the zoom mode. We want to measure from inner edge to inner edge of the main thing is that it is done from the first and the long axis view in the zoom mode. We want to measure from inner edge to inner edge of the septal endocardium and the anterior mitral from inner edge to inner edge of the septal endocardium and the anterior mitral leaflet in mid-systole. Where there's some disagreement is exactly where that measurement should be made. Some measure at the annulus, and others measure 0.3 to 1 centimeter below the valve orifice. If the LVOT is tubular, as it is in this example, no matter where you put the measurements, in this case, the measurements are going to come out very, very similar. But keep in mind there is some controversy and where measurement of the LVOT can be very tricky. It is done from the peristernal long axis view in zoom mode. It is important that there's no disagreement. When there is a little bit of disagreement is exactly where in the LVOT the measurement should be made. Some measure at the annulus, shown with this arrow here, and some measure 0.3 to 1 centimeter below the valve, where your PW sample volume will There's no incorrect way to do it regarding the location. It may depend upon the anatomy of the LVOT. In this example here, the LVOT is very tubular in shape, so all three of these arrows are actually giving you the exact same measurement. So in this case, it may not matter. Where if it does matter is if there's extensive calcification around the annulus of the valve that may limit where you place the measurement cursors, or if you have a very sigmoid septum that kind of bulges into the LVOT. In that case, maybe a more annular measurement makes more sense. So you may have to tailor it according to the patient. Just understand that there is a little bit of controversy there. But the main thing you need to know is really this information here. So what are some of the pitfalls of measurement of the LVOT? One is that it assumes the circular orifice Don't measure the feathering because that will overestimate your gradient. And you want to trace the VTI from the outer edge of the bend signal curve as shown in the dotted red. And here's an example of why it's important to measure for multiple different views. So here's an example of a patient with increased stenosis with our dual 2D transducer. We're getting a peak velocity in the three-chamber view of 4.67 meters per second. However, using the dedicated CW Doppler probe, we see from the right stem border that the peak velocity is actually 1.52 meters. So really important to use all your tools and to look at this for multiple views. From that peak velocity, we can then calculate the peak signal gradient. The calculation of the peak transcatheter gradient is based on the modified flow equation, which is a change in pressure equals 4 times velocity squared. And then the peak gradient is calculated by averaging the instantaneous gradients change in that signal over the adjustment period. Unfortunately, this is something that our ultrasound tools do not utilize. Keep in mind that the simplified Bernoulli equation assumes that physical velocity and acceleration effects are negligible. So the full Bernoulli equation is actually much more extensive than the 4D square that we see here. But most of the time, the rest of the stuff that's included in that equation will be ignored, and that includes proximal velocity. However, when your proximal velocity is elevated, mainly greater than 1.5 meters per second, or your transvalvular velocities are at high, less than 3 meters per second, that proximal velocity cannot be excluded and needs to be incorporated into your equation for calculation of the gradient. So then the equation becomes 1 times v2 max minus v2. It becomes, the maximum velocity squared across the valves of your CW minus EW velocity squared, and then that calculation multiplied by 1. And that's going to give you a very different reading than if you go with the 4D squared. And in this situation, you're unable to accurately measure the peak gradient until that curve begins to assess severity. Sometimes ultrasound investigations or otherwise known as contrast can be useful to enhance your instrument's judgment of velocity. However, you do need to adjust the gain settings or you're going to overestimate the signal. And it's important to wait until the contrast concentration has reduced when the readings are getting to 75%. So get all your LV and RV assessment first, get the Doppler signals back, once the contrast concentration is low, and then you'll be less likely to eliminate the contrast. Here's a nice example of a contrast-enhanced spectral signal that was appropriately acquired. We also want to pay very close attention to the shape of the CW signal. So in cases of mild obstruction of the aortic valve, the peak velocity of the CW signal is going to occur early and systole, and the shape of that velocity curve is going to be triangular, as shown in this example here. Whereas in an individual with severe aortic stenosis, that peak velocity is going to happen in mid-systole, and the velocity curve is going to be more rapid, as shown in this example. So keeping in mind those two different shapes will really help you clue in as to how severe the stenosis can be. Other shape changes